occupation?
Stand-up philosopher.
What?
Stand-up philosopher. I coalesce the vapor of human experience into a viable and logical comprehension.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
Stop! For millennia, philosophers have been exiled, killed, censored, and mocked, but philosophy really isn't about being a BS artist.
Yeah.
And it is not a vow of poverty.
Yeah.
And we don't all wear these stupid togas.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No. Studying philosophy is about the love of and quest for genuine wisdom. And to my mind, there simply is no higher calling. I really mean that. But before we get there, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Look, everyone's got to eat, and I don't care how idealistic you are, in the back of your mind there's a little voice asking whether majoring in philosophy will pay the bills. So here's my first piece of advice. Don't suppress that voice. It is deadly important. Because, and this is Materialism 101, it is hard to sustain a love for truth and wisdom and justice if you're living off of ramen and rainwater. But here's the good news. Philosophers tend to do really well for themselves. Philosophy majors make more on average than most other majors, and they top the charts when it comes to salary growth. And there's a damn good reason for this. It's the ability to adapt. Heraclitus said,
"There is nothing permanent except change."
And that's definitely true when it comes to making a living. We live in a world of rapidly changing economies and technologies. So there's nothing more dangerous or ill-advised than getting a narrow education in some very specific job or technology which, for all you know, won't even exist in 10 years. But philosophy is unique because it teaches a truly universal set of skills. These are skills like logical reasoning, interpreting a text, and constructing an argument. These universal skills allow philosophers to both specialize at a very high level, but also to shift their specialties when it suits them. It's why philosophy majors, on average, get some of the highest scores on the GMAT, the GRE verbal and writing sections, the LSAT, and the MCAT. So, if you want to concentrate on ethics, be a philosopher. You like politics? Study philosophy. Interested in gender and sexuality, race, technology, art, ecology, religion? There are philosophers who specialize in them all. But if, instead, you're the practical type, and you just want to get into a good law school or med school, philosophy majors have just about the best acceptance rates there too. With broad competency and transferable skills, you can master any room you like. That's the real power that a philosophy education will place in your hands. But look, it's not just about getting ahead. Studying philosophy means plugging into more than 2 millennia of real struggle. An ancient quest to define the good life, justice, and the nature of reality itself. More than reading old books by famous dead people, philosophy is about critiquing the present so that we can change the future. Karl Marx famously said that
the philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point is to change it.
But of course, Marx was himself a philosophy major. And no matter what your politics are, you should want to have good, ultimate reasons for the things you fight for. To get beyond mere political slogans and tribes and talking heads, and philosophy is precisely that discipline which seeks those ultimate answers. Not only about what is, but also about what should be. Okay, but enough of the soaring rhetoric. Time for a real downer. You are going
to die.
And I'm not the kind of dark, brooding, emo philosopher who thinks that death is all that interesting, except that it does remind us of the urgency to fill what time we do have with meaningful pursuits. Socrates is famous for saying that
the unexamined life is not worth living.
And he was right, but this isn't some inspirational drivel about the power of knowledge.
Shoot!
No, it's a real indictment about the conventional, thoughtless ways that most of us spend most of our lives. Too many people decide to choose a major or a career based on what others tell them is sensible, only to discover, sometimes years later, that they aren't satisfied at all. It's a literal waste of life. But philosophy, more than anything, is about training the soul. Training ourselves to think about the big picture and to figure out what gives meaning to our lives before it's too late. And if you can put food on the table while also feeding your soul, isn't that the most sensible thing of all? Let's face it, in some sense we are all philosophers. Each of us is looking for answers, trying to figure things out, trying to discover what the good life really looks like for us. So the question really isn't whether you want to do philosophy, it's whether you want to get really good at it. And if that sounds like a good idea to you, then why not stop by the office and we'll have a chat? Who knows? Maybe you'll discover that, in fact, you're really one of us. One of us.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
For more info on becoming a philosophy major or minor here at FGCU, as well as our related minors in critical theory, religious studies, medical humanities, plus our newest track in law, ethics, and society, please visit our website or give us a call. Bye.